I found out that my shameless wife abandoned her daughter to have a perfect life with me, and now she wants to introduce her as a family friend to our kids. I decided to spoil her plans. A few years ago, my wife and I got a letter from a woman claiming to be my wife's daughter, Laurel, who wanted to meet with her. She told me that she'd given up a child for adoption when she was young, so I was expecting that this might happen. What I didn't expect was that the truth was, there was never any adoption. She just left the baby with the father and bailed. The worst thing about this is that when Laurel was 12, she wrote my wife begging for help. My wife's response was to write her the nastiest reply imaginable that basically blamed her for her problems and threatened her against contacting her again and ruining her family. I couldn't believe it. Not only has she been lying this whole time, but she actively had contact and chose to abandon her a second time while we were married. This has all been an emotional dumpster fire, but that's an issue of its own. We've been in contact and building a relationship for the last few years. So much therapy. So far, we've kept this all away from our kids. At this point, it's been a few years, and there's interest in having everyone meet. The thing is, between my wife and Laurel, they've come to an agreement to tell the kids and everyone else in the family that Laurel is a family friend. Absolutely not. I'm sick of the lying. What they call each other is their own deal, and I don't expect that to change, but I'm not lying anymore. I don't like lying to my kids as a policy, but lying to them about who's related to them and who isn't is dangerous. I only want them to meet if we can tell them the truth. Now I'm getting into it with my wife, Laurel, and my parents, the only outside people who know. They say I should go along with it not for my wife's sake, but for Laurel's. I understand why she would want that, but I don't think I care anymore. The kids need to know. So, after many heated discussions and sleepless nights, I stood my ground. I told my wife and Laurel that I couldn't go along with their plan to hide the truth. It wasn't fair to our children, and it wasn't fair to Laurel either. She deserved to be acknowledged as part of our family, not hidden away like a shameful secret. My wife was furious, accusing me of undermining her and causing unnecessary drama, but I told her that she was being unfair to all of us. Our kids, me, and more to Laurel. She has been hidden too many years, and now she's being treated as a stranger. I told her that what she was doing was unspeakable, and just imagine how painful it was for her daughter to be introduced as a family friend to her siblings. The big day came when Laurel was going to meet my kids and her half-siblings. We all gathered in the living room, feeling nervous and excited. When Laurel walked in, she looked hopeful, but also scared. It was tough to see her like that, knowing what she'd been through. But when my wife introduced Laurel as a special friend, I felt upset. Laurel tried to play along, but I could tell she was hurt. I couldn't take it anymore. I told my kids the truth that Laurel wasn't just a friend, she was their sister. There was a moment of silence, then my wife gasped in shock, but I didn't back down. My kids were fortunately understanding, but I know that they are still in shock. My wife is not speaking to me right now, but I think if this is really the breaking point, I'll have to seriously consider the future of our marriage.